What's up, raw babes? And today I'm giving you very much raw. And we're just gonna jump right into it because I know you guys have been waiting and waiting for a cut crease exotic glam with glitter and colors and blending. Listen, y'all deserve this. I was telling my Instagram live, it's no more naked beats. Right now, I really want to have you guys graduate and see exotic creative looks that I can bring up for you guys. So here we go. So if you guys are new to this channel, I want you guys to hit that big thumbs up, to hit that subscribe button, and also comment because you are new to the Raw Babes family and we're so happy to have you. Welcome. This is the page where you will get a lot of gems. You will learn a lot if you want to be an upcoming makeup artist or even if you want to do your own face. But honey, we're gonna just jump right into it. So if you guys already know, raw babes, you know I prep my clients with Noxzema wipes just to wipe down and clean their face to avoid any breakouts. And also you want to start doing makeup with a clear base, so I always like to use Noxzema wipes. You can get it from CVS, Walgreens. It's very affordable. And I'm also known for using the dual lash glue to prep my eyebrows. So I use dual lash glue on the brow hairs just to lay down those hairs so anything won't get in my way, and also so it can be easier for me to fill in, and it's a great process. I want you guys to try that technique. So right now I'm just filling in her brow with the Revlon Color Stay in the shade dark brown, and I love those pencils. Ever since I've been letting you guys know about it, it's like it's been running out, but I love those pencils so much. It glides on so easily, as you guys can see. And when you are filling in the brow, all you want to do is go very lightly. Try not to go too harsh, because the more you be heavy-handed, the more the eyebrow will look darker. Once you go in with the dual lash glue, you guys, I want you to not let it dry. Once you put that dual lash glue, you should directly go in with your spoolie and brush those eyebrow hairs in place. To conceal the brows, we'll be going in with the P. Louise base and also the e.l.f. hydrating concealer. The P. Louise base in the shade Rumor 06 and the hydrating concealer in the shade Tan Neutral. When trying to find your concealer shade for your brows, make sure you go in with 1 or 2 shades lighter than your original skin tone. When you are concealing the top of the brow, I like to add in a darker concealer just to tone down that shade and also to avoid a halo eye. So the concealer shade I went in with was the shade of Bronze, and that concealer was from CoverGirl. Now I'll be going in with my translucent setting powder from Airspun, and I only use this just to set those lids in place to avoid any creasing when it comes to the eyeshadows. And if you guys already know, this is one of my favorite palettes. This is the Juvia's Place Warrior palette, and I made sure that I showed you guys the Warrior palette so you guys can know which one I was using. So I went in with an shade of brown. I mixed in both of those browns, and I went in as my first transition shade in the crease, and that's why I will be blending. And I also like to bring that brown up to the eyebrow just to help out with the contouring later on, and just to add some more detail and definition to the glam. Now I'll be going in with a black shade. I made sure I went in with a smaller Morphe brush just so I can be in control of staying glow into that crease with that black, because you always want to make sure that you have control to avoid going too high and also getting that black on top of that brown. You want to try to avoid that and just stay in place, because you want to always keep that gradient look, and so you can tell the difference between the black and the brown. Now we'll be going in with the L'Oreal Infallible Wear Concealer in the shade Ivory. I love their concealers because it dries down fast, and I love a concealer that is matte for my cut creases because it's way easier. Sometimes people go in with a concealer that is very wet and very hydrating. You want to grab a matte concealer. So now I'll be cutting that crease. I like to do different methods. Even when I teach my students, you can do the connect the dots, you can trace. This will be easy for you to just fill in and make your method of your cut crease a little bit more faster. After you finish cutting your crease, I want you to always stand back in front of your client and see if the creases are the same size. Make sure they're even. If you have to go back and fix it or make the line more sharp and more defined, you can always go do that before you move on. But right now, I'm getting a smaller brush and I'm just patting that concealer to make it dry before I start with my shadows. So I went in with a reverse. I still went in with my black in the corner, and then I went in with my browns that I used. So it's like a reverse. You're using the same colors that you use, but you're trying to make it as a gradient look as much as possible. So you're trying to have the colors flow. Now I'll be going in with that white gold shimmer in the corner, and also in the center I'll be mixing both golds from the other Warrior palette. I made sure I showed you guys the difference between them because a lot of you guys have been asking which Warrior palette, and obviously they came out with two, so I had to make sure I showed you guys the difference in the shades. Blending out all those shimmers, sometimes the matte colors can dust away, so you'll have to go back in and bring out those shades. Now I will get ready for my glitter, so I will be placing that dual lash glue right on top of that gold center, and I will be placing a gold, any type of gold glitter that you guys have will be very good, and it was mixed in with a little bit of shimmers of pressed glitters of like a white gold, so it brung out so cute. And I was just thinking about this glam, and I did a glam similar on her before, but I just wanted to add a little bit notch to it and just show you guys something so pretty, delicate, and raw. So I got this glitter from Whitney No Houston on Instagram. I'll make sure I put that in the description box below. I purchased these different shades of glitters a long time ago, so hopefully she's still selling it, but if not, you guys can just grab any similar gold glitter that you guys have, or any white gold glitter, and that will be so pretty for the center of her eye. Off camera, I drew her some liner, and I got the liquid liner from e.l.f. I love that liner so much. But to be safe, when you have colors and glitters, you always want to go in with a matte black just to set that black concealer to avoid anything with the client looking up and the liner getting all over the cut crease and everything. You just killed. I hate that so much. So I make sure that I want to be safe and just set that eyeliner with a black eyeshadow, and it's bomb. You guys will love it. And I wanted to add a little exotic boom boom, so I added some rhinestones. These rhinestones are from Amazon. I'll also make sure I put the link in the description box below, and I just popped them on, and the glue I used for it was dual lash glue, obviously. So I really love Yaya Minx. I'll make sure I also mention her in the description box, because you guys always go crazy about, oh my god, which lashes are you using? I collaborate with her, so make sure when you reach out to her, say Lashay sent you, girl, and get you some raw Minx. So when you guys are on Instagram or YouTube and you see people with white stuff on the remaining of their face, it's milk of magnesia. So milk of magnesia help for like a base to help out for oily skin. If your client or you have very dry skin, milk of magnesia would not be something that you will use, because just imagine it will be dry on top of dry on top of dry, and your makeup will be very cakey. But I also want you guys to go in very lightly with milk of magnesia, because it's not something you'll go too heavy with, because it will show throughout the makeup. So I make sure that I got that glitter off her face. I used a spoolie just to dust off that glitter. And also I went in with one of my favorite foundations, which is the Maybelline Fit Me 24-Hour Super Stay in the shade Mocha. And I love their foundation. Lately, if you guys follow me on Instagram, they've been giving me, you know, the runaround with discontinuing the 24-hour Maybelline. And they bring out a 30-hour, like I keep bringing up because I'm just so annoyed. But I love the 24-hour Super Stay Maybelline. You guys can go check that out if you ever find it. Girl, get every single shade for your client. It's raw. This compared to NARS will probably be a very similar finish. So if you guys want a less expensive foundation other than NARS, make sure you just go get the Super Stay. time to cream contour, and I'll be going in with a foundation stick from Black Opal in the shade Ebony Brown. If you are trying to find your shade to contour, make sure it's at least 1 or 2 shades darker than your original skin tone. And here we go, one of my favorite concealers is the Tarte Shade Concealer. We'll be going in with the shade Deep and also Mid Tan Golden for a highlight. I like to go in with 2 concealers just because I want a little bit more highlight when it comes to underneath the eye. Now, as you guys can see, I'm using the same brush I used for her foundation. This is just to add a more full coverage to that contour, and also to tone it down a little bit because I do not like a too harsh contour when it comes to the cream, because I already will have to set it. So if you guys want to try that, you guys can also try that. And then I make sure that I put that contour on the sides of the bridge of her nose, her forehead, and also her cheekbones. When you are blending out your concealer, you have to make sure that your beauty blender is damped in order to get a smooth finish. So right after, I'll be going in with my Sacha Buttercup. It's time to bake, y'all. I love Sacha. If you already know me for my little dark girls, you know. So I go in with a different beauty blender, a clean beauty blender, and also it has to be damped as well. A lot of you guys have questions, well, why your under eye is so super smooth? You have to make sure that you are using a damp beauty blender. I love Real Technique beauty blenders. If you guys want to try those out, they're amazing. You guys see it in every single video I post. I love it. So everywhere I put concealer, I'll make sure I set that in with some Sacha Buttercup. Now it's time to set that cream contour, so I grabbed my bronzer palette from Morphe. I love it so much. They're running out in the shade of 8D. You guys go check that out. I love these so much. They're blushes, they're contours. This is what I use. So I make sure that I go in with the same shade of the bronzer, of the contour shade that I use. You're like setting the cream contour just to add a full coverage, and then I will be going in with my blush. You know I love some blush, so a lot of you guys see that my work is very bronzy. I love a bronzy look. I feel like it can never be too much bronze or too much blush. It's just so pretty at the end, so I love it. setting underneath her contour and her bronzer. This would just add definition and also to help set the remaining of the face. This is my known lip combo that you guys see a lot. I love a nude lip combo. So I went in with the Morphe liner in the shade Trendsetter, and I also used concealer from Infallible Wear Concealer in the shade Toffee 405. And I popped over some Hair Store Gloss because Hair Store Gloss by Broadway is the best. So you already know that I love MAC Studio Fix pressed powders. Mind you, this is not sponsored, honey, but I just love them so much. If you guys feel like it's very expensive, because I have a lot of shades in the MAC Studio Fix because I deal with different skin tones of clients and I had to rack up on them, but it's very expensive. If you are a beginner, I want you to at least go check out the Black Radiance pressed powders. They're bomb. And also you can try out Maybelline. They also have good pressed powders. But I'm going in with the pressed powder shade of the NW55, which is her exact skin tone, and underneath, just to have that highlighted look underneath her eye, I'll make sure I go in with one shade lighter than her skin tone, which is the NW45, just to bring that filter pop and smooth look. Get rid of that powdery and ashy look. Now it's time to set the face with some setting sprays. I went with one of my favorite Make It Last original setting spray by Milani 16 Hour Wear, and I also went with the e.l.f. Magic Mist, and I love it so much. It gives them skin, as you guys can see. This is so pretty and makes her skin look so buttery and smooth. Now I'll be going with one of my favorite highlighters as well by Milani in the shade 04. So you guys be sleeping on the drugstore products. I'm known for using some of my things to be drugstore, and it comes out so bomb. It's really not about what you use, it's how you use it, and it's about the technique. You guys, I don't want you to be scared and think that it's a big difference with the products, because you can make a very less expensive, you know, glam look like a very expensive glam. So it's really about what you learn in the techniques, and that's why I'm here to teach you, honey. So if you're in front of that mirror or you're practicing on your client, I really want you to take your time, try to listen to every step I give you, and listen, this will be so raw with you learning new techniques. It's perfect. Now, as you guys can see, I'm putting that highlighter on the bridge of her nose, her eyebrow bone, and also her cheekbones, her forehead, and her chin, just to bring that glow. And while I was looking at her, I just felt like I wanted to add a little something. So you know, your girl had to pop on some bottom lash extensions from I Envy by Kiss. And if you guys are wondering what type of glue I use to stick those babies on, I use the Dual Lash Glue. I love Dual Lash Glue, y'all, for real. That's why I try to mention it as much as possible, because it sticks and it stays when it comes to Dual Lash Glue, and that's why I love it. So you guys, this is the finishing look, and it's so beautiful. It's so creamy, smooth, elegant, bomb, raw. It's so many words for this glam. She came out so beautiful and so pretty. I really want you guys to try this inspired look by me. Make sure you tag me on IG. Make sure you hit that big thumbs up when it comes to this video. Comment what you loved about this video. This is just so raw. I'll make sure I put everything in the description box below because I know y'all be going crazy about me doing that. I try to do it as much as I can. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. As you can see, I've been pushing out YouTube videos because y'all been going crazy on me on Instagram. But I love you guys so much. This was highly requested from a lot of the raw babes to just come out with a raw exotic glam to teach you guys other things. And I'm here, babe. I'm here. I'm your sister. I'm your cousin. I'm your influencer. I'm here to teach you guys a lot. If you guys were given the blessing to be a makeup artist or try to do and learn a lot of things, you guys have to take that blessing and go with it. Do not sit at home and not do nothing. Do not give up on your dream. You got this. Sit in front of that TV. Look at these tutorials. It will help you with a lot and you will go far. And it takes time, but with dedication and love, you guys will kill it and you'll have a passion for makeup, and it's a beautiful art. So I love you guys. Reach out, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell so you can be the first to see whenever I post. I love you guys so much. Mwah.